Well, good afternoon and happy Monday. Happy Monday, and welcome to Midday Manna, where I go live Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, just to give you a word of encouragement, a word to hey Jordan, a word to inspire, a word to bring correction, a word to refuel, a word to reignite and realign our hearts with God's purpose. But it's always a word that moves us from inaction to action. Hey bestie, it's always a word to move us from inaction to action. Good afternoon, Mother Graham. Hey, all right. Yeah, she's traveling for the holidays. Let's keep her in our prayers that she has a great holiday, a great Christmas. Um, so it's always a word to provoke action. Why? Because we want to be doers of God's word. Hey, Thea, we want to do his word. We want to be his word walking in the earth. His word walking in the earth. And so that's what we come on here for. We come to get a word that provokes us, reignites us, charges us, and challenges us to what? Walk this word out, to apply this word, to execute this word. So I know that this is a great season that's upon us, which is the holiday season where everyone around the world celebrates Christmas and we celebrate the birth of Christ during this time. And it's a time, a joyous time, a time of celebration, a time of peace, a time to be concerned about others and to extend grace, to extend love and compassion to others. So I want to wish everybody during this great season nothing but God's best, nothing but God's favor and his blessings to be upon you and your family, that you would experience the goodness of the Lord, that you would experience his favor, that you would experience his peace, his providence, his protection, his prosperity in this season, that your heart be overwhelmed with his love toward you. That is my um prayer for you. That is my prayer for you on during this holiday season. But I'm not going to be long because I just want to drop something in your lap. That's what I want to do. I want to drop something. Hey, Jordan, I want to drop something in your lap to get you to think during these next, what is it, like 7 days until the year is up? Just to get you to think for the remainder of 2024. Just a word to cause you to think, to reflect, the remainder of 2024, because we're about to be out of this year. This year's they would say is over. So I want to talk about very, very briefly how um, if I would have to pick a title, it would be The Journey, One Step at a Time. One step at a time, because we can get overwhelmed. Let me speak for myself. I can get overwhelmed when I believe, or I've been given a word, or the Lord has given me a promise. The first step is excitement. The first feeling or emotion is excitement, because the Lord has said something to me, or he's promised me something, or he's prophesied something it and I'm excited. You're excited, you're happy, you have the fire for it, you have the zeal for it, and you're all ready to execute what he's given you. And then your next step, some begins to settle or sit in, and that could be a sense of being overwhelmed. Why? Because when we see it, we look at it in its broad aspect, or the broad picture, that it's a lot to accomplish, is a lot to do. And sometimes after the excitement, the sense of overwhelmness happens, and then there's a phase of being hesitant. I am hesitant to step out. Why? Because what the Lord promised, or what he spoke, or what he said, it looks too big. Can anybody relate? What God has spoken over your life, what God has given you to do, looks too big. It appears as if it's a huge elephant. And I heard someone say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And it looks so big. It looks like I'm not going to get it done. And I ask myself, what has God given me, or what has God spoken over my life? What has he placed in my heart? What dream has he given me? What has he called me to break? What has he called me to walk away from? What has he called me to even walk deeper in him? What is it? And sometimes I don't know about anybody else but myself. I want to see the whole, I want to see it all. I want to know it all. I want to know what's in front of me. I want to know what's the next step. And sometimes we want to see the whole staircase before we take the first step. Sometimes you want to see everything before you take the first step. And I want to draw your attention to Psalms 119, 105. It says, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. It's not a spotlight on the entire road. Okay. It's just a lamp for the next step. What are you saying? The Lord just wants us to take the next step. He wants us to do this one bite at a time, one moment at a time, one step at a time, one decision at a time, one act of obedience at a time. Remember when Peter walked on the water? God, he didn't get a map out of the entire water. He didn't get a map of his entire path. He simply obeyed God. He simply obeyed when Jesus said to come. He took one step. We have to take is one any journey you get to any destination is one step after the other. It's you have to take one step before you take the next step. So we have to focus on the one step, the one thing, the one set of instruction that this one day that God has given us. Working out this one day, which is Monday, let me do everything that God gave me to do today. Let me do that today. What step is God asking you to take today? It might seem small. It might seem insignificant to a lot of people because we're not doing major things that others classify as major. But raising your children, that's an act of obedience. That's something that people seem feeding them breakfast. That people see that as insignificant, as a small step. But every step of obedience leads us closer to our purpose. Every step of obedience, no matter how small it is, no matter how small it seems to you or to others, it leads you closer to your purpose. So I want to ask you, what is God calling you? What is he asking? What is he requiring of you to do today? What is it today that God has given you that you know that God told me to do this and I have to finish this? What is it that God told you to do? What is it? Think about that thing. What has God told me to do that I have yet to step out and to do it because I'm overwhelmed, because it looks too big, or because sometimes you fear rejection, whatever it is that you may be afraid to step out and do it. Why? Because then God told me that, guess what? You can't despise small beginnings. You cannot despise small beginnings. You cannot despise small beginnings. I know what you're thinking, but the steps I take, what he said in Zechariah 4 and 10, it says, do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. That's how I felt sometimes, like this is so small for me. God, this cannot be leading to anything. I'm not seeing the fruit of it. It cannot be leading to anything because it seems so small. And the thing about it is the Lord rejoices when he sees the work begin, when he sees us walking in obedience. Every small step is a seed planted in faith. Me being consistent with this is a seed planted in faith. Just like a seed takes time to grow, so does our purpose as God is unfolding it in our lives. So it's small seeds. It's the seeds that we are planting, our acts of obedience, the things that we are doing and we are being obedient to, the small things, the small habits that we're developing, waking up on time, getting to locations on time, valuing and stewarding time, being better time, financial management over our monies. A lot of things that we're doing, we think it's small. Saving. Some people save $10 a week, $5 a week. You may think it's small, but it's going to add up. It's 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 working. Let me say it's working. We may not see what's happening behind the scenes, but it's working. It's working. It was a meme that I saw. It was a man hitting at the rock. He was hitting at the rock, and it was like diamonds behind it. And I'm assuming that he was hitting for a while, But with each hit, he got closer to it. Well, right before he was, if he was allowed himself to hit one more time, he would have actually possessed the thing behind it. So he would have actually got to what he was trying to get to in the beginning. But he got tired in the process because he kept doing it and seeing no results. And God, I want to encourage you that you're doing something, but you may not be seeing the results that you want to see. But keep being obedient. Keep sowing the small seeds. Keep developing the habit. Keep perfecting the skill. Keep being obedient. Keep taking one step after another. Keep saying no to sin. Keep resisting it. Keep doing these things, and you're going to see the fruit. It's going to unfold before your eyes. Think about it. Before David became king, what was he doing? He was faithfully tending sheep. Before he defeated Goliath, he was out there playing with his slingshot and stones. I don't want to say playing. He was out there slaying uh, lions and bears. He was using the thing. He was practicing. What we look at right now may seem small, that he's preparing us. It may not seem like enough. But guess what? It's preparing you for a greater work. Remember, what's the movie? Wax on, wax off. He wanted to know how to fight. And what was he doing? He was showing him through practical things how to be able to defend himself. Karate Kid. Thank you, Theo. And we have to realize that the things that we may see or we may believe is not working, or it's not making us great, it's not making our name known, it is actually preparing us for the day of battle. When he was doing the wax on, wax off, he was like, "Hey, Miyagi, Mr. Miyagi, I ain't come here to paint your walls and clean the gate. I came here to learn how to fight." And what did he say? This is how you do it. Even to catch another fly. This is how you do it. And then when he was showed him, like, okay, now let me see what you know. And he started fighting with him. He was able to defend himself, and to when he would hit him, he would say wax on, and he would do it, and he would have a defense against the hit or the blow Mr. Miyagi threw him. Then he did it again, and it was all working. Everything you're doing right now, it's going to work. It's working together for your good. The small things, the small steps that you're taking, the small acts of obedience, going live, like Elder Theo is going live on Mondays. You are building. You are building. These are your small steps of obedience. Some, when we go on, you may say 5 people on. It may be 15 shares. It may be 100 people. But the more you work, it is perfecting your skill of communication. It is perfecting your prophetic skill. It's perfecting the skill of teaching. It is perfecting in you so that when God puts the spotlight on your name and blows a wind in your direction, you are ready and prepared to be sent out to the masses. You are ready and prepared. Why? Because you stewarded this place with integrity. You stewarded this place with compassion and mercy and grace. And God is able to allow you to step into purpose. He's able to allow you to step into it. Why? Because you prayed in this place. You kept this place pure. So what is God asking of you that you're working toward, that's aligning you with your purpose? The steps that we're taking, it's aligning us, it's aligning us into what God has called us. It is why? Because we're honoring the steps. Honor the small steps. Honor and be faithful in the small. If we're faithful over few, he makes us ruler over them. Don't do it complaining. Don't do it always with the posture of your heart. Oh, I want more. This ain't enough. Purity in our purity while you're walking in purpose means that you're guarding your heart and your motives as you're walking. It's not just about getting it done. It's about getting it done in grace and integrity and a pure heart before God. It's not just about finishing. It's about finishing well. It's not just about making his name great. It's about making his name great with integrity and honor and elegance and class. And when we pray purpose, purity, and prayer, when we pray, what is allowing, we're staying in step and in tune with communication with God. When the path feels uncertain, when I don't know what's before me, prayer is going to center me. It's going to remind me that I'm not doing this in my own strength. I'm not doing this alone. I'm not even just doing this for God. I'm doing it with him. And that's what we have to remember when we commit ourselves to being faithful in a few. Be faithful in what he's given you. Why? Because he makes us ruler. He makes us ruler. And what I know for sure is, as I'm being faithful and as you're being faithful in these steps, our story is a bunch of steps. Our story is a bunch of steps, whether we do them in obedient steps or we're disobedient. It's about steps. Why? Because steps are either going to get you to where God has called you to, or it's going to hold you back. You're going to be stuck. And you're going to go back to what you're used to. It's always steps. What are your steps? Your decisions, the choices that we make, our acts of obedience. And what I know for sure is that what he's calling us to, is going to require us to do what? Take one step at a time. One step at a time. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm at knowing what God said, knowing that it's bigger than me, but also knowing that it's so much bigger than me that if I were to get there, not process, it would swallow me. It would swallow me. So what is my job right now? What should I be doing? I should be allowing him to process me, allowing him to touch every area of my life, making sure that I am honoring the small, making sure that I'm being integral in every area of my life, making sure that my yes is yes and my no is no, making sure that my intimacy with him is consistent. I'm in covenant with him. I'm not inconsistent. I It's my job to make sure my relationship with him is intact. I heard someone say, the Lord told her, you need to figure out who God called you, who you are in God down here. Because when you get there, you ain't going to have time to do it. So right now, I am at a place where you should be at a place where you are figuring out, getting secure in who God called you to be. Who you are to be, not what you are to do. Right now, should be worried and focused on being the person, so that when he gets you to the point of doing it, you don't fail at it, because you already house it. You are it. So when I get there, I'm it. So because I became it before I got there, it's not going to crush me. It's not going to crush me. It's not going to crush me. And it happens one step at a time. It happens one act of obedience at a time. One act of obedience at a time. So that's where I'm at. And yeah, so let's be obedient. Let's just be obedient, even in the small. So hopefully something was said to have you think about these next, how many days we got? 8 days, right? 8 days. 8 days into the new year. 8 days, these next 8 days. Yes, one step at a time, one act of obedience at a time. He's a lamp and a light to your path. And before you get your next set of instructions, let's do the last thing he told us to do. Let's get that done. So, with that being said, today is Monday. We got the Christmas coming up and New Year coming up. So what I'm going to do over here on Midday Manna is, today will be the last Midday Manna until the new year. So today will be our last Midday Manna until the new year. Gonna take a holiday break to refresh, to regroup. And yes, so that's what I'll be doing. And oh man. Funny, funny, funny. So that's what I'll be doing. So today will be the last one. So I'm going to go off. I'm going to just give a word to a few. It's only a few of us on here. So I want to tell you, Courtney, I'm going to prophesy over your life really, really quick. What I know that the Lord is saying and speaking over you is enlargement. He wants to enlarge your borders, not just the borders and what you do, the borders in your mind. He wants to allow your mind to be renewed so that what he is bringing to you, you will be able to carry it. There's a lot of things that attack us first in our mind that causes us to second guess what God is saying. So what you need to focus on, and what I hear the Lord say, is it's going to be a time of a mindset makeover. He's going to begin to allow your mind to be renewed for the thing that he is giving you to do. There's a lot of second guessing that comes even in the battle and the warfare in your mind that will cause you to walk away or to abort or to sabotage the very thing that God has called you to. But as you renew your mind, as you allow God to make over your mindset. Why? Because a lot of things the Bible tells us, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Everything that you do will start from who you think you are. Everything you step to do, everything you do with confidence and boldness is going to be a reflection of who you think you are. And based upon where God is taking you, you have to be secure in who God has called you to be. You have to be grounded in who he has called you to be, no matter what the crowd around you says. No matter the boos you receive, you got to know who God has called you to be. Why? Because the boos come with the crowds. The bulls come with the crowds, but you have to know who you are. And guess what? You're going to have to do it with compassion. You're going to have to do it and walk in a new level of compassion. Why? Because who he has called you to, you have to be compassionate for. You have to be compassionate for. You're going to have to be able to intercede for the ones he's called you to. You can't correct somebody. You can't be an example to somebody that you have yourself have not interceded for. Don't try to rebuke anybody you have not shed a tear for. Do not rebuke anybody. Don't correct anybody you ain't pray for. Yes. Theo, the Lord is just like he's doing for your wife, he's doing for you. I hear expansion, elevate, and elite. The Lord is causing your ground to be stable. Places in your life before that felt unstable and you were unsure of. The Lord is even building your confidence, not just as a man, but as a father and a husband. You are the head, you are the prophet, the priest, and the king of your home. What the Lord has called you and what he's calling you to be is a watchman. You are the one who watches over your family. You are the one who will know when danger is on the arise and when there's a blessing on the arise. You are the one who will watch over. The Lord has called you to be a watchman of your family. The legacy that you leave to your boys will be based upon what you say, not based upon what was given to you. Even though you had a great upbringing, a great example, but what the Lord is requiring of you is to elevate, to be more elite for a legacy for your boys. Your legacy has to be different than what your father left to you. Yours has to be grounded in the identity of Christ and kingship, not just about taking care of your family, the natural means, and making sure they're financially cared for, but the spiritual, the emotional. You are to be a watchman over every aspect of your boys' lives. Why? Because they're going to be men, they're going to be fathers, they're going to be husbands. So the Lord is calling you to that. Jordan, there's going to be a level right now. I just sense a tearing or a breaking away. There's some mindsets, there's some relationships that you have to tear away from and break away from. I see the Lord pulling you from some things, but the things that he are pulling you from, you're holding on so tight that you're going to leave scar marks on the things. And you have to walk away because what you're trying to find your identity in is not stable. And if you find your identity in anything other than Christ, it's going to fall. It will crumble and fall. But I hear the Lord say, deliverance and freedom is yours. It's available to you. But with you, it's going to take a toil. It's going to take some hard work, some hard decisions, some hard choices. And it's going to take you you're going to have to believe in who God and what God said. Not looking to so many voices and not looking to so many outside entities or people. You're going to have to find your footing and your stability in him. I just hear him. I just hear it's almost like mad chatter, like mad chatter. So a lot of things that we hear is because we keep our ears open and too much. The Lord, I hear and I see your ears and your gates are open. Your ears and your gates are open, and it's open to too much. You got too much interference running in atmospheres. You got too much interference. You got to get singular in what God is saying. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. So yes, 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 yes. Okay. All right. So I just want to just speak over our lives, even my bestie. I mean, there's so much that is in her that it's I mean, it's when people you could just hear and know that something is coming, or I don't even want to say a sound of alarm, but you can hear it and you know something is coming, whether it is a storm on the arising, or you can hear when change is about to come. And she is a vessel that when she ministers, when she worships, you just know something is about to happen. Her life, her voice, her worship is as a announcement that something is about to happen. Something is about to happen. I think that's why a lot of warfare and a lot of opposition comes to her, because when she opens her mouth, it is an announcement that something is about to happen. Something is about to happen. Something is about to be imparted in you. Something is about to be released. Something is about to be unlocked, and something is about to unfold and manifest. So, I mean, yeah, she's an announcement. Her life is an announcement. So, yeah, she's an announcement. And if and this is just, yeah, if she's in your life, if she has any means of her hands is anywhere in your life, if she plays any part in your life, I want to tell you that the Lord Himself, and I just heard Him, is bringing an announcement. It's something. She's an announcement. So if she's a part of your life, the Lord is announcing something over you. Now, I don't know what that is. Maybe you can ask her, but she's an announcement. So, yeah. Y'all be blessed, because I'm feeling weird right now. So y'all be blessed, and I'll see y'all for the new year. May God bless you. I may pop up. No, I am going to pop up. Not may. I'm going to pop up for a day of prayer before then. Not a whole day, but a time of prayer before the new year. So I will pop up on here for a time of prayer before the new year. If you are not subscribed to my email address, you may want to do that, because I'm going to send an email out. And you just go to my website, lakeiaray.com. Sign up on my email list so that you'll get the notification that I'm having prayer. So I'll send out an email that I'm having a time of prayer before the new year. And I'm not sure what time it'll be, but it'll be over here on YouTube. Okay? You guys be blessed. Love you so much for just being a part, coming in, listening, and just, yes, you guys rock. I love you. And I'll see you one day next week.